Hello everybody and welcome to this NEM Ontario Wrap-Up webinar for National Engineering Month 2014. My name is Erica and I'm going to take you through a very short presentation to recap what I think were some of the highlights for National Engineering Month this year. It's been a fantastic campaign and I want to give the opportunity to shine the spotlight on some of the things that we think went really well, and then we'll open up the conversation to a little bit of discussion on what we think worked, what we think could have worked better, and what we might plan to do for next year. So I have about 10 minutes of content for you, and then I will open it up to questions and comments. So the first thing that I want to say is we're still collecting preliminary data, but it looks as though from the 142 outreach events across Ontario, that represents the combined organizational efforts of PEO, OSET, Engineers Without Borders, as well as a few other organizations like Girl Guides, Ontario Society of Professional Engineers, and ESCO, who popped out of the woodwork to do a bunch more events than they did in previous years. It looks like we're going to be up over the 200 outreach event mark. So that is a phenomenal increase. We thank everyone who came out, who decided to up their game. A lot of chapters were doing 1 or 2 NEM events. They came and did 5 or 10 events. We also had a bunch of new organizers come on board this year, so everyone should be very happy and proud of what we've created across the province. Really shook things up and let everyone know what engineering and technology is all about. So a big increase in the number of events. We're still compiling the data on the number of people that we reached through these events. Last year, as you might remember, it was about 25,600, and we've got our breakdown here between the different demographics that we identified as our targets. We're still compiling data for this year. As of this taping of this webinar in the first week of April, I have received about 14 scorecards. So still expecting quite a few more. Thank you to everyone who have turned in their scorecards. I'll be talking a little bit more in detail about the scorecards later, but want to thank you for taking the time to do that. It's very useful, it's very helpful, and you will be rewarded with your funding checks soon. So the rest of this information about the online reach, we again are going to be compiling that, but I would expect that it will be at least as much as last year. So how did we do it? How did we get there? Some of the things that we did right this year that allowed us to reach this level of performance over last year are as follows, some of the highlights. Not all of you might be aware of the NEM OSET Student College Challenge. This was something that we opened up that was new in 2014 for the NEM campaign, basically where OSET leadership decided to approach college students who are going through the system right now to become engineering technicians and technologists to say, hey, you know, a lot of university students are organizing events. Why don't you all get involved as well? Come under the NEM umbrella and take the opportunity to pair up with a local OSET chapter that's nearby you in your community and put on an event. So we put a cash prize to it as a bit of an incentive to attract the students. And we would have been happy if we'd had 4 or 5 student teams come back to us and enter. We had 12 altogether. Not all of those events actually happened. We had 2 teams, unfortunately, not complete their events, but that's still an excellent showing. You can see here there was a very good showing from Conestoga, Centennial, Seneca. Sheridan was one of the very first to sign up, and they did an excellent job on their 3D printing Get Innovative event. So we're really proud of all of these student organizers. Many of them stepped up to do this for the very first time, and the support that they got from their local OSET chapters was just fantastic. So we're in the process right now of evaluating all of the judges' reports and figuring out which will be the team to win. And these students get a year's free student OSET membership as well as that cash prize that we put out there. So as far as we're concerned, this has already been a success. We were able to more than double the number of OSET-led events that we ran during this year's National Engineering Month campaign. So big gold star for OSET for doubling their engagement, setting a great example for the rest of the organizations. So in addition to the new organizations that this attracted to National Engineering Month within the NEM OSET College Challenge, we were able to attract a lot of new collaborators from outside of that as well that are interested in doing really great engineering outreach. So we had IEEE, both at the Conestoga chapter, the student chapter, as well as the Peterborough PEO and OSET. They're long-standing collaborative partners. We have the Fire Prevention Association and the Women in Technology from Seneca College, as well as ASME and the Engineering Student Association at Sheridan. We also had Girl Guides of Canada come aboard officially. We had Rose step up to organize a wonderful new event called Mission to Mars, which covered 600 youth across about 30 events in total. She organized a network of volunteers to put together this brand new challenge, which was really fantastic, as well as Science Expo, which is a coast-to-coast nationwide organization of students who are still in high school who are enthusiastic about engineering and math and science and technology and want to encourage younger kids to get involved and excited about these professions. So we're very pleased to welcome those collaborators on board. We know the importance of having a collaborative coalition of organizations to bring our message even bigger and better to everyone. What we can do in silos, we can do even better when we join up. We get economies of scale as far as merchandise. We get better brand recognition when we unify our messages, and sort of everything's more fun and bigger when we get those collaborations going. Another real highlight of this year was that we implemented the event scorecard. So we're moving away from just this idea that outreach is something that we do every year, and we sort of leave it at that as sort of a tradition we show up for and don't give it much thought. We're now starting to think about the impact that we're making and whether we're improving over time, and what are our definitions of success, and how can we really harness our energies that we're putting into organizing these events as volunteers. How can we make sure we're getting the optimal bang for our buck? So here's just a little snapshot of the Peterborough event organization. Again, that's the OSET PEO IEEE collaboration. As you can see, they did very well on their messaging and their attendance numbers. They overshot their attendance budget pretty close, just a little bit over. And they were able to achieve their media and their improvement goals as well. So excellent job to them. We hope that we've done a good job of making something in the scorecard that was useful to you. We also put out the participant surveys, which is something we've been wanting to do for a little while. We were able to implement those during this year's campaign, and you can see here that this is Rosemarie Almond giving a little bit of a snapshot of a great response from some brownies. So these are girls aged 6 to 9 who are getting excited about engineering and technology, saying that it's about being creative, helping people, and that it's fun. So really couldn't ask for a better indication that the event was successful, that things really went well. And I didn't know people were going to do this, but taking a quick picture and putting it out on Twitter or other social media, using the surveys in that way, was a really neat surprise that came out of this year as well. So well done, everyone, for using your participant surveys. Hopefully they were useful and they helped you really learn about how effective you were in putting those messages across. So we've been talking about these messages for a while, and whether you're trying to explain something using a demonstration or whether you're giving out a Rubik's Cube and, you know, giving an example of how math and the cubes and the building blocks all work together to make our world function, whatever the explanation is or the way that you're going about it, we want to make sure that we're hitting these same sort of talking points. So I really feel as though we've done a great job of bringing these messages to life. We're starting to hear them coming back to us now. We had an email from one of our organizers up in Simcoe, one of the parents, who said that they were really thrilled to see such great diversity, equal gender representation in the event that they had attended, that this parent's son had been to, and had been really inspired and intrigued by that. So we're starting to see these messages about diversity and about ideas into reality and creativity and having fun and making a difference really coming back to us. It's not just something that we're putting out there. It's now becoming a two-way conversation, which is really exciting. So we had a new theme this year. I know every event that I attended, I tried to bring up, making a world of difference, or relating that to the conversation in some way. And I hope that you had good success and good fun utilizing this theme this year. Another thing that I think really characterized this year was our social media engagement. Thank you so much to everyone who took the time to Facebook message us and to put things on Twitter. I would say that there was a point, maybe mid-March, where it just felt like everything really took off. There was just a big step change in terms of the amount of engagement that we were getting on our social media channels. So well done, everyone, on that. You're really answering the call of sharing pictures, sharing thoughts, sharing quotes. There are some really, really cool things. So if you haven't checked it out, even if you're not on these platforms yourself, I encourage you to go on, just go to the website and have a look at what comes up when you type in NEM Ontario. There's lots of good stuff there. So those are pretty much the highlights as I saw them. There were tons of wonderful things that happened during this year's National Engineering Month campaign. I want to really thank all of you. I know that it's sometimes hard to take the time away from work and family and all of the other volunteer commitments that you have going on, but I want to assure you that it is worthwhile, that what you do does make a difference, that we have made a huge step change in terms of what we're trying to accomplish in stocking the tomorrow of our profession with these bright and inquisitive and intelligent minds of today. So well done for investing your time. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope that you had many satisfying aha moments. And I'm now going to open it up for a discussion on what worked, what didn't in terms of organization, in terms of your experience as a volunteer. What was one of your favorite moments that you really thought, yeah, this is really worth doing, this is great. And maybe while it's fresh in your mind, you want to capture some things that you would like to start doing for next year, or what would you do differently, start doing or stop doing leading into next year. So once again, thank you so much, and I encourage you to get in touch with me here at the email, or you can send me some messages in the chat box of this webinar. Whatever works, we would love to hear from you, and I really enjoyed working with all of you this year, and I hope you felt that we did a good job. We're always up for learning how we can do things better. So thanks very much, and I'll turn it over to you.